Wait, are we having the Warlock out? Dude, yeah, Cobra is back in here trying to see if he can get some rematch with Rick. He's like, hold on a second, Rick. What are you doing out here, buddy? You got to the wrong neighborhood, man. Hookwood is my place. What are you talking about here? You caster, you need to stand there and cast your spells. I ain't no needed. Rick, however, does get a reflect, and cheeky little effect of Cobrix's fear. That is a wall out of Cobrix, however. So he's actually using a lot of defenses really early, dropping in a bunch of bolts, back-to-back chaos, just raining from the portals. Got himself a bit of that nether ward, but Rick ain't nowhere to be reflecting that thing. Cobra is the one taking a bit of that damage. I feel like Cobra needs a breather, back it up out of there for a second, and try to see if he can get himself reset just a little bit. There is a Felguard chasing after him. Question is, oh, he is playing still a succubus build, but however you have a succubus back behind the pillar, Rick can just build so much resources off of that succubus and then send those demons onto you after he builds up a little army behind the pillar. And that's exactly what he's done. Full Tyrant, all the pets are in. Cobra is in trouble. We'll need to use Warlock Hellstorm. Mortal defensive will potentially catches the CC onto Rick for a second, but he's under a ton of pressure. Try to see if he can use Dark Pact in order to live this a little bit. He's just not in a great spot. Mortal does connect, but it's just not enough. Rick setting up or cooking up a little army back there because of the succubus. It just gives him such an advantage. Bella gonna be up next, giving Rick at least an opportunity to catch a little bit of a heal. It is gonna go for a step. Does not quite get on top of him with that shadow step. I think Bella might actually be playing with like a slight bit of lag almost at all times, I feel like. Because there definitely was a step, but it's like the animation of step went through it. But it's like the rogue has this like smoky hands up in the air animation, but then the actual follow through of the movement, like just they do a reappearing behind the target, was always like delayed for a second. If you see a step again, I'll show you exactly what I'm talking about. So just watch it carefully. Or Bella might just die right here. That also might be one of those things we'll end up watching carefully. Rick tried to see if he can get himself a couple of new pets in. Bella needs to get back behind the pillar. That Tyrant is not going to be great. Honestly, I think Vanish should sit in stealth for now. But he picks up the eyes. He's not going to let you do anything. Try to see if he can step right over to Rick. Try to see if he can avoid it. Bella's just under to the pressure. Yet the Doom Lord firing away. I think it's just over. Rick got himself such a good proc with the demon sheep shouting Doom Lord just to give himself, or Doom Guard rather, just to give himself a bit of a breather with Hardcore going to be up next. You can pop a reflect here actually. If you get yourself a good nether ward as he goes in for a stun, nether ward will be massive. Got to be very careful with it. Very careful with it. I think now you go for another ward. The other ward and walk it at him. He blinds for a second, delays the stun, goes in for a Searing Glare instead. Wake of Ash is stunning all the pets. Now he go for a proper stun onto Rick, but Rick is just going to avoid it. Let the pets play around. Doom Guard joins in. Why is he jumping around back here? What was that Doom Guard doing there for a second? It was like jumping for joy. Like, oh boy, I actually get a chance to play the game. Look at the barreling down at Hardcore. He's going to definitely get something out of him. Potentially magic immunity. Magic immunity does come out. However, a good portion of Rick's damage is physical. That pet, the demon doggos, all that does physical damage. There's going to be big demon doggo as well. Hardcore, even though he's immune to a portion of the damage, it's only a small portion. Might have seen a bubble either way, but it doesn't bubble. I am not sure if you meant to not bubble or what, but it does end up going down, unfortunately. I don't know if he had bubble available. Maybe he doesn't play that talent for this build. Maybe he was just thinking, you know what, maybe I could live, maybe I'll be fine. Maybe trusted in immunity all the way through. Arrest in Hell gonna be up next. Big cleave down onto Rick, who goes in for a fear. Losing out on some of that damage, but as long as you can get back over there as demon form, get yourself a bit of valuable meta, as long as you can get yourself some decent damage to take down Rick, I think you'll just need to send everything at Rick at some point. Messing around with these pets is going to be rough. Knowing when to find an immunity is also going to be very important. Trying to go for Sigil of Fear around the corner. Gateway, looking for a hunt. Not going to be able to connect. Meteor instead, just metamorphosis right in, just leaping in with an item to follow. Not a lot of health available for us in Hell. We'll just need to send everything else he's got, trying to pick up whatever health he can. Got himself the big glaive. He still can go for a hunt into a big cleave. He's got himself a decent setup here. Potentially can't stop the Tyrant. He's just gonna have to get in and do whatever damage he can. Immunity is out just to catch up to Rick. Is gonna get the Sigil of Fear onto those pets. Could potentially go AoE stun the pets just to give himself a breather. Might just have to imprison on the main Tyrant, but it does nothing. Tyrant is not to buff the pets, not really to give no damage of his own. And Rick does end up taking him out. Is Rick gonna go for a clean sweep here? Barrel is the last one left over for the team one. Barrel, you don't need to immediately rush out. This game is up to you how you handle it. Eyes are available for Rick, however, so it looks like he's going to mosey over to pick him up. And Barrel is not in a great spot to really get himself an opener or anything. He's going to get hit with the slows. Slow down. Maybe you can go for a feint camo. He's away from pets, far enough away. Maybe think Chem. Never mind. Chem is on cooldown immediately, isn't it? Stun around the corner, around the other side of the pillar. Try to see if he can barrel, get his way over there. Barrel, try to see if he can barrel through the damage. Scatter for a second. Does get a root onto Rick for a moment. True shot is active. He's got some potential, lots of damage. Just need to break those fears one way or another. And Rick is just going to spam fears into him. Eventually, it's going to be the yard. Rapid fire, firing on all the pets and everything. Cleaving things down. Rick tried to go for a full-on tyrant. That's going to be a bunch of pets with a barrel with a wall. Binding shot around the corner. Rick has got himself a wall. He knows he's going to get stunned up if he moves. Turtle shell out for barrel. Might need to break that turtle just to get some damage into Rick. That or get away from pets. Maybe catch a feint. Maybe catch a reset. I don't know if he's dotted. I don't think he is. He just tried to see if he can get himself yet another rapid fire into Rick as a Doom procs. Does spawn in the Doom guard. He doesn't have the angle. He can just look at him, but he can't hit him. Fear to follow. Gloomhound right after. Barrel, I don't know what you can do in this situation. I really don't know what do you do next here. I actually have no idea. I think it's just lights. Rick with a clean sweep. Actually the cleanest. Fast sweep too. Why did it say he only got 3 kills though? Got ourselves team 2 together with I got Science Bob. I love that. We got ourselves Leo, Rick, Sadawa, and Natty. Natalie Ed is going to be up first. Immediately got himself full burst ready to go. Gucci does not want to charge in immediately, even though his name is Gucci Charge. Saving that charge, I think, until the Shroud is gone. Oh, wait, Shroud is changing how it's going to work in 11.2, by the way. It's not going to be this big cooldown with 3 charges. They're actually changing it up quite a decent bit. Wait, also, was that animation different? I feel like it just did a very, very different animation than what I'm used to. Trinket out for Natty. Does get interrupted on Abba Might. Tried to see if he can get himself primed for a little bit of burst. May need to go for a bit of healing. Got himself a bit of that extra armor. Finally got bursted, buffed up. But Gucci's going to back up out of there immediately. He is getting a little bit worried about the potential damage of a augmentation Evoker. Does go for a fire breath, looking for big eruptions, does get interrupted, needs a couple of casts of eruptions and he'll be okay. Time dilation to get himself a little bit of healing. Fear to follow for Gucci, as Natty does go for a wall here, needs a couple of casts. I don't know if they'll be able to though. That's a lot of damage out of the warrior. Does go for a bit of that shielding. Upheaval again. Looking for a root, does get the stun. Eruptions are they going to be enough? Actually got himself right out of range of eruptions. 1, 2, 3. Oh, hold on a second. Give this man an honor duel. Give this guy an honor duel. Give this guy a chance here, man. I haven't seen augmentation duel in a long while. Open Gape is going to be up next. Give him a chance. He's going to strike at him. Cheap shot right after. Natty does not have a trinket. Does still have a Renewing Blaze, but might just die here. Does get cheat death, looking to run away. Oh, but the rogue is not going to give him a chance there. I would have loved to let this man at least get like a 1 charge of wall or something, but what could he do? Evokers do die really, really quickly though. I feel like if you don't have like a constant heal on them, they can definitely die in a stun. I did love seeing augmentation pop off and do some damage. That was really, really cool. It is kind of interesting how they started to turn augmentation into basically devastation just with some kind of a buff mechanic. Stun into Rick, got himself the big fell lord. This is where honestly Open Gate maybe should have played around with the Evoker a little bit longer, because now you gotta run into a Warlock that's just one of the strongest out there. I don't know what his pets are doing though, but he positioned the pets around one side of the pillar, so they will have an easy time getting over to Open, as he's gonna get himself a cast in between. That is gonna be unfortunate. That is gonna be more dooms onto Gape. Is gonna take a lot of that damage and potential spawn a Doom Guard on top of him. Fear, what is that range of the Fear? Oh no, you feared it from like Nick Zipko just now. What is the range? Is it like 20 yards, 30 yards? It's crazy. And that's gonna be all that damage. Chaos Mother just barreling down you. I don't know what else he can do in this situation. Doom Guard actually is pretty happy to engage with you. 1 bolt, couple of casts, more imps. Does have barely any health. Does he have a reset? Nah, Doom Lord is gonna be it. Oh yeah, Doom Lord, Doom Guard, whatever. Ella's gonna be up next charge. It is stun around the corner. They're gonna have to commit quite a few players, I think, to defeat Rick. You gotta find a player that can get cooldowns out of Rick, and the other to potentially finish the job. So honestly, it might be a team effort. The Hunt does connect into a prison. Wait, you imprison him? I don't think he took damage from you, the Hunt. I don't think he has a dot from the Hunt. Wait, that I've never seen that. You can imprison as you hit him with the Hunt. Wait, doesn't it interrupt you're the Hunt maybe? I know you charge to him. but he does take out, dude, that, what is the demon damage? He literally, Rick just existed and then Elo died. I'm not sure what happened. That is so unfortunate. Beryl is going to be up next though. From one pet class to the other. Is going to go for binding shot. Try to see if you can get the angle. Rick break it out of the stun very, very quickly due to DRs. Still holding on to a trinket in case he ever needs it. And those pets that he has is actually going to be able to use them to spawn in even more demons. For Beryl, he essentially just needs to have line of sight of Rick at all times. Is going to go for a trinket, needs to be on that chase at all times. Kill commands need to be flying in. Is going to go for that ruination around the corner. Fear on the pets as well as Beryl. But some of those pets, the undead ones in particular, do ignore it completely. Is going to go for a big board. Beryl try to see if he can get himself in a better position here. That is going to be a full tyrant. So he's actually got all the demons buffed up. Turtle shell to follow. He's trying to see if he can give himself any defense. But he's going to try to pop out of it just to maybe see if he can hammer a victory home with a chaos mode spawning him. But it's attacking the pets actually, which is huge. Got himself the tart or explosive trap, sending all the demons flying for a second. Beryl does have line of sight of Rick, but he just doesn't have much health. Kill shots are not enough. It looks like the demon balls were enough to do it. This is where Ralphus could potentially get the kill, but he'll be the last one left over for that team one. Rick trying to see if he can maybe survive this damage, bubbling just to make sure there's nothing to stop him. Rick has no answer here whatsoever, and Ralph actually committed a full immunity of bubble just to see if he can land the kill. Who is up next? He's just killing Isaiah. Or Isaiah. I got Saya's Bob. Is it him? No, he's trying to figure out who's fighting next. Is he dueling everybody here? He's got everybody so low from that cleave, by the way. So now Sato is going to have to fight a little bit under the weather for a moment. Silence or Rockface, he no longer has a bubble. So Bob or Lay on Hands is the only thing he's got. He better use something. Lay on Hands. Okay, so at least that'll save off some of the damage, but Sato does not stop. He just continued to cleave you down. Is that enough though? Blind into Searing Glare. That's going to help you survive a little bit. You definitely need some sort of a heal. You're still super low. You need something, Shield of Vengeance, anything, otherwise you will go down. Try to give him some survivability. Wings are going to help a little, but will that stun reverse it back to Ralphus? I don't think he can do much though. Yeah, him being able to spell steal the stun, yeah, that just ends it. With Rick picking up 3? I guess actually no, Rick did pick up 3 there, didn't he? No, yeah, Rick definitely did pick up 3. Damn, if Rock does that again, he's getting ganked. Fair enough. He did start cleaving everybody down. I think it was just trying to like immediately take the momentum after he killed Warlock onto like whoever, and he was just like, I just want to